Hello, my friends. Welcome. And if you're new, welcome to you too. I haven't been speaking to you in this podcast for quite a while. I'm looking now at my library and I see that the last time was on the 20th of February. Not good. That's quite a long time, more than a month. But I would like to say that I was talking to you, but not in podcast. If you follow me on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, you saw, I guess you saw the short video clips, which I put almost daily to stay in touch. So I didn't say goodbye to you and I did not disappear. I shared with you my holiday in Vanuatu. I shared with you when I came back how it felt to come back from holiday, how holiday is different from just traveling for work. Always thought it's the same. And therefore, I thought I don't have to go on holiday because I'm traveling for work. But I just realized this was a mistake. And not not mistake to travel for work, but a mistake when I thought it's the same. If you don't do the two of them, you can't compare. I'll talk about myself. I did not do the two of them, so I could not compare. I'm not saying I never went on holiday. I did, but not regularly. I did go regularly, very regularly, on these teaching trips, lecturing trips, workshop trips, and I loved every single one of them. Within Australia, to New Zealand, Europe, Asia, the USA. I really loved them. And then when I went recently on holiday, it was different. It was really the time which I could let myself collapse into the nothingness. I love it. Collapse into the nothingness. And it was a good rest with lots of insights, reflection, meditation, good food. I met beautiful people. I made soul close friends with two women. And if you listen now, you know who I mean. I'll respect your privacy and won't mention your names unless you're going to allow me. So, yeah, so I did talk to you. I'm just looking here. I did talk to you in shorties, in short clips. And you're more than welcome to go to my Facebook page, to my YouTube, to my Instagram. I I'm not very fond of Instagram. I find it really more difficult to operate. So I'm more comfortable with Facebook because I've been doing it for more years. But I'm facing Insta on Instagram. I'm also posting on Instagram. Yeah. Yeah. So you'll see where I was since the last time I talked to you and what I shared with you about the weather. I shared about how I felt. And I continue talking to you because you're part of my life, a very close part of my life. You remind me to remind myself of the things which are important to me. So, to the topic of this episode, I was visiting the things that they say that people reflect or express when they are on their deathbed. And there were 5 points. In episode number in 105, I talked about I wish I'd had the courage to live a life true to myself. Then the second one was in episode 107. I wish I hadn't worked so hard. And today I will talk about the third things, the third thing. And the third one is, let me just read it here. The third one is, I wish I'd had the courage to express my feelings. I wish I'd had the courage to express my feelings. You could see how actually it does connect or does follow up from the previous two. From the first one that said, I wish I'd had the courage to live a life true to myself. And I wish I hadn't worked so hard. So the truth is that when you live life true to yourself, you also want to be true to your feelings. Many people are very sensitive to other people's feelings, especially the ones who are close to them, family members, beloved ones, friends, good friends, not so good friends, society, teachers. And they are very aware of what they feel. And to the extent that they are willing, consciously or unconsciously, to neglect their own feelings. It's almost like it feels many times to people like competition. An example, if I'm sensitive to the way you feel, that means that I have to ignore my feelings. Wrong. How about I can acknowledge my feelings to myself, decide how much of it I want to share, because you don't have to share your feelings unless you want. And when you're clear about how much you want to disclose, you authentically talk about them. So when is it important to talk about feelings? When is it important? Or I just want to go back into this regret number 3. I wish I'd had the courage to express my feelings. Now, before expressing our feelings, we need to own them. We need to acknowledge them to ourselves. So first of all, I need to get in touch with my feelings in order to know them. And if I'm getting in touch with my feelings, that means that I am befriending them, which is a very, very important step. Now, if this is something that you've been practicing for a while and you know what you feel, if you express it or not, but you know what you feel, then you know how to do it. But if you've been suppressing your feelings for fear of that you might harm someone, like one thing that I can see with children is that many times when they get to the age of reason, because when they're young, they will actually express their feelings straight away. So let me just put a note, or I'll put a bookmark and just write here, age of reason, because I don't want to forget. So I'll go back. I'll rewind it a little bit. When children are young, small, they have no problem to express their feelings. And we were all children once. So you could all, I'm sure you hear people saying to their parents, I hate you. I just hate you. And they don't mean that from now on, I'm going to break my relationship with you. They mean right now I feel anger. I associate anger with hatred because I can't think how I can love something which makes me angry. So they will say, I hate you. I just hate you. And in the next moment, or 10 minutes, they'll come and hug you and say, oh, Mama, I love you so much. And both are right. They can hate and they can love. And because they don't have a problem expressing what they feel, they can easily go from one to the other. They can own each feelings that visits them if they're lucky. Because if they have parents who are um, locked in proper things to say or not say, they will correct the child or they will scold the child. How can you say to mom that you hate her? Can't be that you hate mom. You love mom. When a child that just said a while ago, a minute ago, said to mom or dad, I'm just saying mom as an example, I hate you, and the other parent or grandparent comes and say, oh, actually, that's not true. You love mom. What is this child learning? This child is learning in order to survive in this family, I need to lie. I need to not tell the truth. Might not be the um, conclusion straight away, but after saying it a few times, the child starts losing confidence in their ability or their permission to say what they feel. So they start playing with this, and it has many layers, many steps. Some of them will go straight into denial, denial of themselves, denial of their feelings. Some of them will try to pull the string a little bit more. They will play with this. Maybe they'll say, okay, I hate you now, or they'll find another way. But they already know that something is wrong, wrong in inverted commas. They feel that they are doing something which is regarded by the family as wrong. So the seeds of wrongness has been planted in the psyche. And I think it's so sad. And I'll tell you why. Because parents are the adults in the relationship. Hopefully, not always. They're always adults, but sometimes they behave like non-adults. So parents or adults in the relationship are the only one that can tolerate. Nothing will happen if you hear your child saying to you once or twice or on a given moment or minute, I hate you. You don't have to be shattered because it doesn't really mean that your child hates you, but you don't have to say it to them. What can you do? I spoke in the past about the importance of validation, of acknowledgement. You can just nod. You don't have to say anything. But don't let it trigger you. Try not to let it feel, not to let yourself feel that, oh, there's another person who doesn't like me. My own child, my own flesh and blood doesn't love me. No, just shrug. Your child loves you. Unless you've done a horrible, horrible, horrible thing for your child. I don't know, you know. But your child loves you, even though your child sometimes feels that he or she hates you. And many adults can actually relate to this. Sometimes, I mean, you live with your spouse or partner and you love them to bits. And sometimes you hate them to bits. It doesn't mean that you don't love them. It just means that in particular moment, you don't feel the love. So the healthy way for children to be close, to live close to their feelings and to that is to give them permission to express them. You don't have to coax them to express them, but if they do, let them. Don't say anything. Don't say anything. And don't be triggered. So children who grow to know that they are loved no matter what are finding it much easier to develop healthy relationships with their own feelings. And more so, they learn to develop this ability to express what they feel. A child like this, when he or she grows into an adult, will find it much easier to express what they feel with their own partners, with their close relationship ships. And it's very important because if we are getting intimate, when we are getting into intimate relationship, emotionally intimate with people, we want to know what they feel and we want to tell them how we feel without blaming them. So this is an amazing preparation, introduction to relationship at all ages. This always also means that children who allow to own the feelings and express the feelings, they also they're being helped in developing the language of feeling. Because when children are young, it might be love and hate. But as they grow and become more familiar with subtleties of feelings, of like and love and hate and being angry and feeling disappointed and feeling neglected. All these words that you know that people who are doing the emotional journey, the emotional work, can use because these words are very different. And just hearing them makes us feel different. So it's not black and white, love and hate. There's lots of colors of the rainbow. So it helps children also develop the language of feeling, the language of the heart, which is a must to live, not just in today's world, maybe especially in today's world, because the language of the heart has gone underground. But it's really important to be able to identify what we feel. So when children develop this language and and they become adult and they're familiar, they can recognize and identify what they feel. This is the first big step, and it's more than half. Because once we can identify and acknowledge to ourselves what we feel, we get so many insights, even into why we feel what we feel. And the good thing which happens in this is instead of blaming others for what happens to us, no, the continuation is not we can blame ourselves. No. Instead, instead of blaming others for what we feel, we can be kind to ourselves with what we feel. And I hear you saying, could you give me an example? So let me think of an example. I'll take something which I'm sure happened in my life. I guess it happened to many of you in your life. Uh, I'm talking to somebody and I'm feeling agitated. I feel that actually I'm angry. I lose my patience. I feel that there's some agitation being built inside myself. So, option number one, I'll call it the most primitive one, is to think to myself, this person, they just they just push my buttons. They just make me feel da 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 da. Oh, actually, even more, I can say they are da 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 da. Development of this will be they make me feel, which is already owning something. So they make me feel dot 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 is inviting me to see what does it make me feel. Let's say they make me feel um, unvalued. They make me feel not important. They make me feel stupid, and so on. All the list of emotions can be added to this one. So once I recognize how this person makes me feel, I can either go into blaming them or telling them, or I can invite myself to think, why is this feeling being invoked in me? Yeah, I know. You can say because of this person. Yeah. But maybe this is a gift. Maybe this person invoking this feeling in me gives me the opportunity to realize that I have something in me which I suppressed. So if I'll just pick one of them, if this person makes me feel not valued, my question in my self-inquiry will be, what is in me which feels not valued? Not what is this person making me feel, because this was the trigger. What in me makes me feel not valued? So first of all, I express the feelings to myself or within myself. I don't even have to give it a voice outside. One of my tools of doing my inner work is writing. I do lots of writing as my inner work. So I will take it to my journal. If not today, then tomorrow, which is the morning. The morning is the time which I usually write. But if it's something which is really, really, really burning, I might just write whenever it happens, if I have an opportunity. And if not, I might write a note, and the next morning I will close my eyes, I will sit with it, I will feel it. And it's easy when somebody triggers you, it's not something which goes away in a minute. It sits there. And when you invite it, it percolates. When you invite it, it comes, and it comes sometimes with even more charge. So the next day I will think, okay, what in me feels undervalued? And I wait. I don't try to give to give answers straight away. I ask the question, and I don't urge. I don't press the answer. It will come when it's ready to come. And if I already have a history of close relationship with this person, after processing my feeling, but only after processing my feeling. Did I say after processing my feelings? After I process it, I might bring it to the person and say, I want to share with you something. When you said da 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 da, I felt not valued. So you could hear, I felt. There's no blame. I felt. This is really coming under the topic of expressing your feelings, because I express what I feel, not what you are. I cannot express what you are. I can express what how I feel when I'm with you. But I really believe that this needs also to come in the right timing, because if the person in front of you cannot hear it, maybe better not to say. If you have the opportunity to do the work by yourself or with another person, with another member of the family, take it to them. Process it with the people who can do it. If you are in therapy, take it to your therapist. I'm sure you have, if a work like this is important to you, you have a network of people, even just a few, it doesn't have to be a big network of people, that you can process these things with them. So I think if we come to the place that we can express our feelings instead of going later in life and say, I wish I would say it. I wish I would express it. It most of the time are the things, most of the time they are the things which um, represent to ourselves who we are, the things which do justice with ourselves, the things with which enable us to respect ourselves. Let's say you invite me to come with you tonight to a restaurant or to a show or to a concert or whatever, or another day. And I really don't feel like doing it. Sometimes people will not say it because they don't want to disappoint their friends. They don't want to think that they don't want their friends to think that they don't love them or respect them or value them or whatever. So they will not say what they feel in order not to hurt them. Now, what happens actually is they're doing bad to themselves and to their friends. I would like my friends to tell me really and truly and honestly if they want to come or not. I might sometimes say, I don't know if you'd like to do this and this, but it's really, really important for me. So are you willing to think if you can do this, even if you're not 100% sure that you want to do it? Don't answer me now, I would say. Just have a thought. So these are in cases which I think I'm asking for something that they might not like. But in other cases, in most cases, I will when they, or they will ask me to do something which I don't want to do, I will say, I really love spending time with you, but I don't feel like going to this show, or I don't feel like going to this restaurant. So if you really want to have this food, maybe you go with another friend. Or if it doesn't matter to you and you just want us to be together, that's okay. But it's very clean and very healthy. Doesn't have any agenda attached to it. I say the truth. I express my feelings, and I honestly respected what they want. So I'm not trying to force them to do what I want, but I want them to know that actually this restaurant, not my liking. Or sometimes maybe it is my liking, but you know what? I'm not up to it tonight. I really prefer to do another thing, or even just to stay at home, just to sit at home and read a book or watch a movie. And this kind of expressing feelings is important for close relationship with family, with relatives, with children, with partners, with parents. I think the hardest is to say it with parents, because if your parents come from a different culture or from a different generation, of course, they come from a different generation, and you are afraid that they will not be able to accept your truth, then you might find a way to bend the truth while still respecting yourself and them. So I always find that it's different, or maybe most challenging with children. Sorry, with parents. I wanted to get to a stage in my life that I can hear everything and anything from my children, and I'd much prefer them to say to me than say it to other people while they build their resentment. But in a way, that's another story. It's not another story, but I won't go into it now. So, in this regret that many people feel, as they reach the end of life. I wish I'd had the courage to express my feelings. I think what they express here is that they feel that they missed on not doing this. And just think of it. If people say, I wish I would go, I would climb the Himalaya, or I wish I would go to Hawaii, and they don't have the money to do it, or I wish I would have another profession. These are things which are not very easy achieved or corrected or repaired. But a thing like, I wish I'd had the courage to express my feelings, it doesn't cost money. It's free. I think the only would cost be the good word, or the only thing which you have to put on the scale is how you do it, in what manner you do it. And as long as you come from a place of not wanting to hurt the other person, and I'm not going to say not hurting the other person and therefore suppressing what you feel. No, that's not what I'm saying. When you decide that you're going to respect what you feel and not hurt the other person, please work on it now. Even if you're going to die tomorrow, it'll be a gift. But you do it because you want to live the rest of your life until you die with light heart. And when the heart is light, I want to say when the light is hot. Yeah, when the heart is light and when the light is hot. Okay, understand. When the heart is light, there's more space in the heart to love. And is there anything which is more important than love? To love and to be loved on the whole gamut, the whole spectrum of emotions that represent love. This is a gift. Yeah, to love and be loved and to express your feelings. Your feelings are just your feelings. They don't mean anything about the other person. They just are your feelings. And feelings, emotions, it's something which moves. Emotion. It's in motion the whole time. So let them come, let them go, and express them. Don't get too attached to them. Love, hate, be angry, laugh. All of them. Feel. At this moment, I will share with you my love. I will say thank you for listening to my podcast. Thank you for being a part of my tribe. And hopefully I'll see you next week. But if not, and if you miss me, or if you miss what I'm saying, or if you want to know what I'm up to, and I haven't recorded another episode, or even if I have, most likely you'll see some short ones on social media, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Lots of love to you. Lots of love.